You're listening to Mr. Credit on San Diego 1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Welcome to Mr. Credit. We are live, we are local here in San Diego, Sereno Valley. We're bringing you the most important hour in radio. Don't forget, we're telling you everything that they don't want you to know. I'm adding a new name to the they list. Wall Street gangsters, government, the banks, the big banks, the credit bureaus, the media, and now the debt settlement companies as well. We got to put them on there because remember, you get on the list if you're trying to misinform people, take their hard-earned money, or do one or a combination of the two. Let's get to Padres real quick. One beat the Dodgers in L.A. Yesterday, 10-5. So we've got a little two-game winning streak that we're on here, 7-3 in our last 10. Still only a two-game lead over San Francisco. I'm getting a little concerned. Okay, L.A. is way out of town. I mean, they're 9 games back now. But we do play the Dodgers again tonight, 7 o'clock in L.A. That's a 4-game set, remember, so that's 4 games in a row. So we got starting right here. You can catch all of the San Diego Padres action right here on San Diego 1700, so save the station in your dial. Tonight at 7 o'clock, if you don't want to make the drive to L.A., which I can't imagine why anyone would ever want to drive in L.A. It stinks. Then you would just simply tune in to 1700 AM and you will catch all the Padres action right here. And don't forget, visit MrCreditRadio.com if you want to contact me. That's mrcreditradio.com, or do a Facebook search for Mr. Credit, and you will find me there. Now, we've got a couple of important things to get to today. There's something really crazy that just came across the newswire. And, you know, I mean, it's nuts, this stuff. And I want to get to this, too, because we need to put things in perspective when we're sitting here complaining about the banks and the bureaus and how much they're trying to screw us. There was a shooting today, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, at a small business. And this was in Connecticut, and there was a driver. There was a man who was basically told that he needed to resign. He was basically being fired, and he refused to do so. He went on a rampage and basically shot and killed 8 people and himself afterwards as well. So we have to keep some things in mind here, folks. And this is an example, in my opinion, of someone who just lost perspective, whether it's for a short period of time, whether it's something that had occurred over a long period of time. We have to maintain perspective. And sure, things are bad. Sure, stuff's not good. But let me ask you this question, and I'm not being facetious here, and I'm not trying to be funny. But imagine if this man, do you think that if he understood the way that, let's say, Chapter 7 bankruptcy works, that he would have been as mad as he was? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Some people don't realize that they have a parachute in their financial life. They have a ripcord that they can pull if things get bad, if you lose your job, if your income gets cut down, if you have debts that you can't pay for, if you have too much credit card debt, if you're just barely able to make the minimums on your credit cards. Because remember, we know the banks are using the loophole in the Card Act. If you're just making the minimum payments on your credit cards, they're applying the principal portion of that payment to the lowest interest rate balance first. Would it have been different? I don't know. But this is why I think you have to stay educated. I honestly, once I learned how Chapter 7 bankruptcy works, all of the worries that I have ever had financially, because I didn't grow up rich by any means. In fact, we're very poor for long periods of time. And so I've always worried about finances. I've always been concerned about that. And once I learned how Chapter 7 bankruptcy works, all those back of your mind concerns that people have about money, they can go away. They really can. That's what's so neat about it. Not just the fact that it causes your credit score to go higher in almost every single case, but you can get rid of all your debt. I'm talking about credit cards, collections, medical bills, any unsecured loans, save student loans, even some tax debts through the IRS, judgments, wage garnishments, second mortgages where they're coming after you if you had a home that was short sold or foreclosed, tax liabilities from those same events as well, if you time it properly. Listen, the only person I recommend that you speak with in Southern California to learn more about how bankruptcy works is William McDonald with the McDonald Legal Group. Call him for a free consultation, 858-437-0103. 858-437-0103 to get your free consultation with William McDonald, or just learn more about how this works. Because let me tell you something, folks. A lot of people, when something bad happens, they feel that it's over, that their life is over, that it's never going to get better. And there's just no reason to feel this way. It just isn't. You have options. There are things you can do no matter how bad it gets from a financial perspective. There is something that's built into the law that you can take advantage of. It's called Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and it's a beautiful thing. It only lasts 90 to 100 days. Score goes up. It's cheap. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. Call William McDonald today for your free consultation. 858-437-0103. Now, all we can do is say our prayers, bow in certain directions, do whatever it is that
many
you want to do.
Many men and women have fought to obtain liberty, equality, and justice.
All right, Brooks out today. She's sick, so I'm going to blame Alex on that for that one, and I'll punish him during the break. Don't worry about it. But all we can do at this point is do whatever it is that we do to try to console the folks who had to deal with this. This stuff is not fair. It's not right. I remember, a very long time ago when I was doing news stuff, covering the Columbine thing, and it's just not fair. It's just not fair, and no one needs to feel that way. So I implore you to become educated about things and not to make emotional decisions, regardless, whether it's your credit situation, whether it's your home, whether it's your finances, whatever it is, business, personal. Don't make emotional decisions. They just don't work out well at all. All right, that's a top story that just came across the wire, so I thought I had to at least bring it out today. I want to talk about some of the credit card tricks that are already being employed. And remember, I told you this was going to happen. I told you this stuff was going to happen. I told you a long time ago. They're going to end free checking. They're going to start pulling out all these tricks, because when the laws came into effect that said, okay, you can't make money in these certain ways in which you've been making tons and tons of money, the banks are just simply going to go, okay, well, we need to find out new ways that we can make this money, right? They're not going to just sit there and go, darn, man, we can never make money again. That's just not how it works. I mean, these are guys, when I say bankers, I don't mean the guy who shakes your hand when you walk in Bank of America, okay? I'm talking about the guys at the top, the ones who are sitting there trying to figure out how they can skim money out of your account on a daily basis. I mean, they sit around and think about crazy stuff, I'm sure. Hey, maybe we should charge people like 50 cents a month if they have, a middle name or don't have a middle name. I mean, who knows what they're thinking of? All right, I mean, if they have a hyphenated name, we should charge them $1 a month. And I mean, this is how they think, because they have hundreds of thousands of customers, and they realize that if they can charge you a small fee, they can just spread it out amongst a bunch of people. They can rake in tons and tons and tons of money. That's the way bankers think, and it's never going to stop. And that's why I tell this legislative Congress, who is on what I am now declaring is a legislative jihad.
So I know whose ass to kick.
The problem is, when you make rules like this, all you're doing is you're just moving things around. You're not closing a door. You're just plugging one hole, all right? And what happens when you plug a hole on a leak? Typically, a new leak will be created. That's all we're doing here. That's all that's happening. I'm going to get to the details here. And I want to get this started because there's a ton of stuff in here, and it's mind-boggling when you look at some of these things. This actually came from the Wall Street Journal just months after the historic legislation banned certain billing practices. Card issuers have dreamed up new ones designed to trip up consumers. Well, who knew that was on the way? Credit Card Accountability and Responsibility Disclosure Act, known as the CARD Act, was intended to reshape the contours of consumer finance. Among other things, it forces card issuers to give customers more notice about interest rate increases and restricts certain controversial billing practices such as inactivity fees. It does a lot of good things. I never said that the intent was bad. I never said that the laws were bad. I'm just telling you, I know the way these guys think. I know the way the big banks think, and they just think along the lines of how can we continue to bring that money in. And they'll never be satisfied. It does not matter how much they make. Remember last quarter? Bank of America netted $3 billion. $3 billion? You kidding me? The FDIC is going out of business. And Citi netted $2.7 billion. Are you kidding me? While the FDIC is almost insolvent after taking 3 years advance payments from the banks that are still left as they close down the 108th bank of the year